He gonna have a
They,
more harder time.
it's gonna be way harder because Black American women, like like can kind of maybe understand where he's coming from with it and try.
And give
But
him a
shoot,
chance. But the African women, they're gonna be like,
no, I mean because they already like they have a certain way that they see Americans, especially black ones. These scam.
remember, we want you to be an activist, and don't take our word for it. Look that shit up. Pulley.
Thank you so
Let's go
much.
to King Shaka. King Shaka, what's happening? Thank you for that, Rita. Let me get you off mute. I got you off. Okay, there you go.
All right. Thank y'all for letting me join and share my piece. I agree with Rita on the part where she says we need to neglect the narrative because the narrative is, dominant, right? We've been colonized, right? So the narrative is to make us look bad, right? The whole thing with this thing is like this is just another slave movie, the way I look at it. But I agree with Rob in that the point of it was to sow division. Okay, I think that they understood that the Black Panther movie, it made so much money, right? So they're like, wait, we've been passing up on money all of this time, so let's tap into this. So okay, cool, we're gonna tap into it, but at the same time, we're gonna use this angst that's going on with the feminism, the Me Too, and let's throw in some slavery in there. Let's make sure that we scapegoat the Africans and give the Europeans a break on the slavery thing so that we can change the narrative. Because what I feel a lot of the conversation about this movie has gone to the thing about the Africans, selling slaves to the Europeans. So it's like giving them a break. So then, like the host of the show said earlier, that's their point. That's their point. They're going to use that as a reason to not give reparations, to not say I'm sorry, to not be like, we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do nothing wrong. The Africans just, they gave us this. We were just, taking advantage of the situation, So, I think, and the other part of it is like, I like to call it the toxic masculinity that's coming from females. Okay. And that's what we have, right? They've been culturing this for years, right? So then a movie like this is to continue to culture that idea of this toxic masculinity coming from females, wanting to be dominant as far as like, controlling everything, And so going back to what this whole thing is about, it's about the household, right? It's about the household. The household is how you build the empire, right? For you to have a strong household, you need to have a man and a woman, right? And you need to have them knowing what their roles are in whatever we're trying to accomplish, right? We're working together. We're building an empire. At some point, maybe I drive the car. At some point, maybe you drive the car. We have to understand that, together is what makes us strong, right? So, but then the narrative, like Rita is saying, is this this separatism. We also, as a culture, we lash on to this. We attach to this, and we make it bigger. We keep spreading it and making it more. When it's not even really true at all. And what's really sad about that is that so many of our community really believes this stuff true. We've been colonized and we've been brainwashed and programmed for so many years that when we see this stuff, the black men are not home, they're not raising their kids, they're just sorry, they got multiple baby mamas all around the planet and they're not trying to build no real household. But from what I can see, that is not true. That is not true. But a large amount of our culture or our community really believes it to be true. And then you get these big movies like this one that reiterate these ideas. And I want to say, like in the comments, I noticed while Rob was talking, a lot of women was saying, we do need you, black man. We need you, black man. You're not useless. You're not this narrative that they're giving us, and we know it's not true, but still it's dominant. It's dominant in the culture. It's dominant in the media, and the kids, everyone is just, absorbing this. After a while, you tell a person a lie so many times, after a while, it becomes true, or the truth doesn't even matter no more.
Yeah.
Comments.
Hey, I already told you, you came through there. Like, I think you set a whole new tone for everybody when you came in, because it's like, you uplifted, oh girl. I think everybody was like, okay, you know what, this, like, I can get along with all of that. But like, I thought it was great.
Yeah, yeah. I think you did well explaining that, bro. And more people need to understand that and hear that shit. But I will say this here. Just from my understanding and listening to different things and talking to different people, bro. I really feel like and I can't really. I probably shouldn't say more than ever, but I don't know any other way to say it. But I think that there is a lot of women more than ever, bro, that truly realize the power of a black man, and understand that there is a need, and understand that that there is good black men, you know what I'm saying? And just as well as black men believe that with black women, you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, I tell anybody this, bro. Like I love my sisters, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I love them, and I don't give a damn about people say, oh man, they attitude. Like I hear a lot of brothers that's dating white women or was with black chicks and now they with a white man and so it's night and day and this white chick this and this and this and that. And it's like, bro, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear that because to me you seem weak. You seem weak. You went over to to these folks, to a race of people that nigga you would have been slain. And at the end of the day, how do you not know that she's not racist? Because white women, they could be very racist, but they love the masculinity of a black man. You know what I'm saying? She could be an in the closet racist and only fucks with you. You don't know what goes on when she talks to her family members or her friends or this or that, but that's neither here nor there, bro. At the end of the day, I can truly say that I love my sisters. You know what I'm saying? I love black women. You know what I'm saying? And it's just I don't know of any other replacement. People say, oh, Hispanic women, and I love Hispanic women too. Don't get me wrong. I love Hispanic women, Latin women, however you want to call them, but at the end of the day, I love my sisters. You know what I'm saying?
Well, well, the
Light,
thing,
brown, mix, whatever, just it's just something about a black woman, bro. They understand your struggles. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? They understand you as a man, and the real ones that are out there, they understand what you fight against, man. There's so many women that's out there that's advocating for being your peace when you come home, bro. Like, and yeah, you know,
one of the things I would like to definitely say is that, you know, a lot of these guys, like, because I mean, we're supposed to be the logical of the two. They're usually going to be a little bit emotional. And if you can't discern when, like, being able to kind of, you know, talk her down off of her, where those emotions may have taken her, you're not going to be successful. So it's like, if she's, and if you kind of replicate what she's doing by saying some of these different things, like, well,
Yeah.
you know speaking on these different, well, this average, say, you showing your trauma, different, because I mean, we've all had traumas.
But
But
it
if you're,
becomes a toxic cycle. I get what you're trying to say. It's like if you are exhibiting the same like way as her, then y'all not gonna get nowhere. You're just gonna keep on going back and forth, and you're
yeah,
not you're not.
you're not gonna have a meeting of the minds, because for one, like, you know regardless of how crazy it might be, but us being, we should, us as men should really try to, if we want to express those different things, we got to find the right time and place to express those types of thoughts. But in the heat of the moment, if you're going back and forth with her, you're doing the same thing. Like, you're not fixing the problem.
You're,
You
you're
know,
you're you're matching the energy in a way that just propels.
and it's not sexy.
It's not. It's not. It doesn't. It's not a good look. It's not cute, as they would say.
Yeah.
Let me play some more.
I'm with you on that, King. I mean, I'll tell you right here, there's a lot of beautiful sisters out there. And I know that when I was a single man and I was looking for my wife, I tell you, I learned so much in just talking with women. And there are women who really looking for men, not males. Not every male is a man. And, you know, it gets me when people give titles to the title man to a male who don't deserve it. And so we have to get back to this whole definition of really what a man is. Because a limp wrist, jelly back joker that's running around here talking about he's a man, I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to let you steal that title. There's strong brothers out here who's holding it down, who's being a great husband, a great father. That, you know, the media is only going to show the weak. The media will only show the weak. Like sister said, you know, journalism, you know, it's, and I said when I worked in intelligence, information is powerful and you can change the world. You can create wars with information. And we have to be careful of the media, be careful of what is being told to us, what's really out there. Because I believe there's a lot of beautiful sisters out here looking for a good man, and a lot of brothers out here who's looking for a beautiful sister. For real, for real. I think that we are in our tough time now today because we bought into the lie that we are judging each other before we get to know each other. And that's the issue that I see. Estevan, what's going on with you, brother?
What's going on? What's going on, family?
Yes.
Everybody doing good today? You know, so first of all, I just want to say that I appreciate the little gumbo that I'm in right now. Because everybody got a nice little perspective, point of view of everything, and I'm sort of taking a mix of both because I mean, well, I say a pinch here and a pinch there. I feel wrong because I'm in Atlanta, so I saw the movie. Our job sort of just ran out movie and Regal, and we just saw it in station. And I'm not gonna lie, like me, I'm in my 30s, so I know y'all got a lot more games to give me, you know.
Well, why did he say that?
As far as
I have no idea.
But as far as impact is concerned, like I appreciate it, like as far as us as a culture, like black people, just going in to see the movie. Haven't seen that in a while since Black Panther. You know, so what it did, you know, for, you know, just melanated folks, that's why I appreciate it. Now,
He had a lot of.
nitpick.
Go ahead.
I think he had a lot of thoughts that was going through his head, and sometimes I think when you're sitting on a panel like that, you just been sitting there, and it's like, all right, your turn, go, and
it's hard. Yeah.
Yes.
And he was just like, what do you call it? Like vomiting out his thoughts. It wasn't really very organized. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was under pressure too. I ain't gonna lie, because this was a large audience, and I don't know that I've been on the internet in front of an audience that large before. So I was a bit nervous, and I was stuttering and shit too.
No,
And
you
find
did
anything
good.
that's wrong with the movie. I mean, that's to your discretion. You know what I'm saying? That's not my angle. But I will say that, you know, as far as the movie goes, it was a couple hit and misses, I should say. And the only reason why I say that is as far as like the togetherness of, you know, black people, I do hear what y'all saying, because here's the thing, like me, I was raised off Shaka Zulu, Roots, like an actual, like, you know, things that actually like bonded, you know, people together. You
And he just sounded so ignorant. That's the reason why I made some of the comments I made afterwards, and I didn't want to mash on him, but I had to let him know that, you know, you're ignorant. And then it was like, because like, you know, the Root story is not even based on a true story. The movie that we're talking about is based on the actual historical events.
Yeah.
know, that's what I go off of. So like,
Everybody's kind of like,
when it comes down to like the
What's up?
togetherness and like the unity of, you know, us at the time. Of course, I didn't feel it as much just because of the fact, like, the time frame that was in as well. I mean, honestly, for me, when it comes to movies, I don't really read too deep, not all the time, because you already know Hollywood gonna watch go whitewash it up. I'm just gonna keep it a book. You know, like historically, and I feel like, in my personal opinion, this is the job for the individual to stop being a lazy learner and to look, within the textbook instead of just being like actual just going off, how can I say, the face value of the movie because it's
Uh,
not really concrete. Like the books and the stuff that we actually have and like things of that nature, that's what we really need to be focused on. Because this is based off a true story. This is not like really real. So I think once people, especially us people, because we do get a little bit lazy when it comes to learning. 'Cause
I don't get that. Like,
We get lazy when it comes to learning. What are you talking about? Who are
well,
we?
I think he's talking about people in general, which I think to some extent he might be right because you know a lot of people probably will watch it and not even realize that it's supposed to be based on a real movie and that you can get more context by going out and finding the real story and reading about it or whatever. But at the same time, it's like y-
I think he was
y-
saying black people are lazy when it comes to learning. So okay, then boom, there goes an example of you falling to the narrative.
yeah, because bro, like I'm gonna tell you, man. Uh, I think people get lazy because I mean, to some people it don't matter, but there's a lot of people. I know way more black people that's gonna do the research than that's not. That you know what I'm saying, but maybe that's the people I'm around or whatever. That's but
That's him
that's
falling to the narrative. I think. Let me play some more.
see it in our face, it's like, okay, it's good. We don't never really check the back. So if we can actually just take our time and just, look and really dig deep, it sounds the homemade trial or the
well.
oil trial,
Did he say I'm
and
30?
these particular,
He said he was like in his early 30s or something like that.
Okay, so that's what he said. Yeah, so and I'm 30, so everything I'm about to say is gonna be very, unwise,
That's not a
and
good way to premise what you're saying.
everything that I'm
inflation.
about to say is not a wise start. It's just some shit. Like I wanted to get on here and show my, say some shit, and
Yeah,
get, but yeah, not. I'm sure he had great intention. And
but he
like
shot himself in the foot at the beginning by saying that.
Places
yeah.
and see if it matches up to history with the slave trade and stuff. Okay, then we got something. But when it comes down to the emotional aspect of it, like that's what it is, just the emotional aspect, not the facts. Like I wish people just did a little bit more of their homework. Now, it's a good inspiration piece. It's an art piece. I say that because it is a movie. It's an art piece. I just leave it like that. But if you're really looking for like real meat and potatoes, you're not really gonna get it out of that or any other movie. So that's the only thing that
Black Black to Africa is kind of like
You about to cut him off or kick him
male.
out or mute him or something.
Yeah,
He's frustrated.
he's thinking of him as a male, not a man. He's a male.
that I just want to bring up honestly, and we honestly need like people to honestly make more films. If it's like that, individually, you can make it yourself then. Like I just saw a vid of you and Go Black and uh, ODJ. I love Uncle DJ.
Damn, bro.
He makes his own stuff. Everybody got the know how, especially if you're in America. Like, yeah, we've been given like a bad hand, but at
Yeah.
the same time, we can make lemons out of lemonade. Like the hardships that we went through, we got some ammunition, so we can
This is
actually
so
go
hard to go
and
through,
we can
I
bro.
provide
know. He
in
about to wrap it.
the U.S. You can become an asset in Africa or anywhere else. So I'm tired of the pity party to a degree. Like I can get
Yeah.
with it, but only just so much if you ain't putting no work in. So you can't tell me, oh, it's impossible. I watch you, I watch
Give me a rope.
Jackson, I watch I watch a lot of people
Y'all
who
respect that
actually
man
get stuff
gangster, man.
done. You know, so
He in his 30s.
if you really want to see the change, especially us and how
Pat gonna
we're
cough to that.
depicted,
How
you know,
rude.
then we actually got to, you know, get the ball rolling. And we honestly got to put the step forward. We can't stop at Tyler Perry. You know, I'm right around the corner from the daggone Peggy. You know, yeah, it's cool, but
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
go
I
Yeah,
with it.
yeah.
don't
Let's move on.
care.
Well,
yeah.
I
can I
don't
jump in there?
care.
The education, bruh. You
Oh,
know,
it was you that.
you said that, you know, I think that to be able to enjoy art, you do got to turn off your mind a bit. You know, I agree with that part. But at the same time, we need to educate ourselves. Like, this is based on a true story. Then we need to know more about this story, right? We need to know more about what actually happened. Then, therefore, whenever they do these narratives, then we can pick it apart. You know what I'm saying? We can't just let them feed us whatever the hell they want to feed us, and you know, and we don't have no context to it at all. I think a lot of people probably who watched the movie had no idea about the story that it's based on, or the history related to it, or what actually happened. You know, they're just watching it, they're just enjoying the movie, and that's cool and fine. But that's how the whole system works. You know, it's all entertainment, it's all for fun, but then they're sliding in these subliminal messages, and then you don't have a base, you don't have an education base for those subliminal messages to slide off of you. So you internalize them, you know, you think it's true, you know, you start looking at your friends and family and significant others as enemies, and sometimes you don't know where this animosity is even coming from, where this anxious behavior is even coming from. It's been subliminally just put into your mind a little bit at a time here and there in your entertainment.
You know, I mean, and you're right. That subliminal message is powerful within itself. That's why, you know, for me, even doing the show is just to give
Hey,
a
that was some
different.
strong. Hey, you acted like a co-host at least. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like you turned the whole, because it's just like, all right, you know, at some point somebody had to make him shut up,
yeah,
and
Hey,
you know, I think
oh,
go Black to Africa. He wanted to, but he wants to respect everybody.
right.
So, but you know, and I think even the dude was looking for an out.
I
hey,
gave
bro.
everybody
Oh,
an out, and then I geared the conversation in a direction. Go ahead, dude.
Yes.
hey, hey, this ain't nothing to dry on your point of what you was making, but I'm just looking at the screen, boy. Oh, girl, then went from having her hands down to she's like, oh shit, this old light skinned ass bald headed nigga with these glasses. I see what Pat. I don't know if that's the one Pat was
No, that's
talking
not the
about,
one, but she coming
but
on soon. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's another chick that's coming in. That's gonna be, yeah. Let me play some more.
Side of
I,
looking
I
at the
didn't really pay
picture.
attention, but I think she might have been kind of like, oh, okay,
Maybe.
You
yeah,
know, because I know our sisters are vulnerable when it comes to past pains. We know our sisters have been violated and taken advantage of, and a lot don't even talk about it. They don't even share that story. And what's scary in this movie is that they used it to their advantage to draw the sisters in. And whether it was the sister who is trying to use her roots on figuring out the what's her name's dream, to where they're giving homage and not built, kneeling down to statues. These things, when you people have unanswered um, um, issues of life, we will try to do anything to find that answer. And I fear the fact that if this movie has impacted women who are hurt, scorned, who are sitting in a place of pain, to dabble into areas, to me, that I even know that ain't fruitful. But this is where movies could be dangerous, because it will plant seeds. It will plant a seed and it will cause you to behave. But really, at the end of the day, everybody gets excited over a movie and they go home. Did it create any change? Did it make anything better? Did it make your marriage stronger? Did it heal you? Did it cause the Black family to become closer? Is there people out here now that's going to create initiatives to bring in that broken family apart, you know, that's out here, that's portrayed. It is. So what are you going to do with the information you got?
I really like some of the comments that he made too. Like you were saying, Pat, the video is overall really good, and that's the reason why I was watching it. And when he gave the opportunity to jump on there, I saw it as an opportunity. I had to take it. But I agreed a lot with what he was saying in this video.
Well, no, because I think that a lot of like those things do exist in this movie, based on like I'm reading what people say, because pretty much most of the people saw the movie. The top three, they definitely saw the movie, and I can just based on how they're talking about it, these things definitely these elements exist within it. It's just like I said, what makes this good for me is the fact that this is like the podcast is like TV, and the different people what they're saying, like you changed the whole scenario, because that's what I started that's what I started kind of looking at, was the the professionalism, the how what I'm saying, like you change, you knew how to the Tai Chi the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I started. I said, okay. Because when I saw you, when I first, I said, oh shit. When I saw you come on, I was like, oh shit. That's why he shared it. Because you always share videos. But
yeah, that's why I shared it, because I was in it. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, but I dissected it in a different way, because at the same time, we're talking about the woman king, which is that's the whole point of that his podcast. But at the same time, I'm looking at the dynamics, and the way how people are responding.
Yeah, it's super interesting. So I skipped ahead on the video. The chick that you was talking about, Deuce, if you could see the screen, the chick that Pat is talking about is down on the bottom left now, Danielle.
Yeah, I'm able to watch, bro. I'm out here unloading the trailer right now, so.
All right, let me
I'm
play
able to
some.
watch. Yeah.
Celebrating our Black sisters. What is wrong with just having maybe that one movie? Did Malcolm X not tell us that the Black woman is the most disrespected woman on the planet, even though she is the original mother of the planet? Everything has come from darkness. It comes from us. We are the only people that can create every shade. And in my family, we got them black like this. We got them like my shirt, and we are all Black people. We don't need nobody else to create our beauty and our power. So why can't we celebrate the Black woman at the end of the day? Why can't we take this movie and say, you know what? Okay, it ain't an L for us, brothers. It ain't an L, really. But we're gonna sit back. We're gonna chill. Like, yeah, okay, come on, babe, go do your thing. That's what my man would do for me. He'd be like, babe, go ahead, shine, do your thing. I'll be like, hey, turn up. But I'm gonna go sit right back by my king. You know what I'm saying? Like, can't we just celebrate them? But I also want to say this. Another thing, like I said, I am not speaking for every Black woman, because this is going to split hairs. When I saw
that goes what you were saying,
bow down to Caesar Borgia's son, and they didn't have a blue-eyed, blonde-haired Jesus on the wall. Jesus, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm just saying they was giving reverence to a power. I know you didn't like that, Go Black, because you were like, oh, they're bringing up voodoo and hoodoo. For me, African spirituality is power. I am an African healer. So Rob and Go Black, I'm going to be calling y'all.
I really wanted to make comments on that as far as the African spirituality, because he was kind of bashing it earlier in the video. Did you watch earlier in the video when he was talking about that? And he was talking about like, okay, they're bringing up voodoo or voodoo and all of that. And man, I really wanted to jump on that as far as like, freaking, that's our freaking heritage, really. That's our freaking true religions, really. That's really our fucking shit right there.
Yeah. Well, that's one of those things, like, you got to kind of pick your battles.
Yeah.
And, that's probably good to just kind of leave that alone, because you didn't want, you don't really want to spin it too far away from,
I didn't want to step on his toes as this was his show, and this is his thing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
in a few months because I'm gonna be on the other side, baby. My days in Babylon are numbered and it's delivered. But I'm not coming there to promote the Bible while I steal the land, because that's what they did in Africa. So what they showed was they hadn't gave them the Bible to steal the land yet. They were showing that they was getting their power and they was giving reverence to their blackness. We're the only people whose God don't look like us according to their story. But if we really look at the story and you want to go with what Jesus looked like, he had woolly hair, okay, grew to the sun, and his skin like coal, okay? But we ain't gonna go there because people get mad when you talk about that. Even our own people get mad when you try to tell them what it looks like. So I was happy. They didn't put a cross on them dead bodies. They put a symbol of power, rest in power. So I just want to say that once again, different perspectives. I don't speak for every woman about this movie, but I was happy that they was not worshiping Caesar Borgia's illegitimate son. That's all. Pastor Mike.
I was feeling her like a motherfucker, bro. Especially with her comments there. Oh my God. And I did kind of like push back on the voodoo a little bit when I was talking about the I'm gonna come in a minute about like the divine feminine. Yeah. And freaking this guy got over 3K views on this video in 4 hours, in the first 4 hours. And like it was more than 500 people in there viewing this while we were doing this. Live, so like that's a pretty good audience right there.
Oh yeah.
Love you.
Full sign.
All right. Well, I'll say this right here that you know, she makes some valid points there. I mean, you know, but they did have the cross there in the movie, and the sister went and grabbed for the cross. I mean, you know, they had to put the cross in there that I thought was quite interesting. I didn't care for it. I don't know why did they throw that in there? But it hit every component there. Again, that's what movies do. You know, I mean, my thing is that, you know, I don't have any problem with any African spirituality. What I have is that because I know sisters be hurt, sometimes we can go venture out into areas and get ourselves involved in things that maybe be the worst thing for you without having that knowledge of such things. You know, I mean, I can't just come here to Africa and jump on any spirituality, not know what it is and what it's about and the history of it. I mean, you can get yourself caught up. I don't care if it's Christianity, Islam, or is it Hindu or whatever. All of them must have some understanding of it before you decide to engage with it. So, you know, it is what it is. Danielle.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on. You know, I think we're all in a process of figuring out what happened to us. Why did we get here? How did we get here? And it's just interesting to see all of the different reactions, and I respect all of it as we're all.
Did you watch the movie?
Yes. As we all go through this journey, or as some of us go through this journey. So with the movie, there's things that I like. Then there's like, you know, some things I'm like, okay, come on. The things that were valuable for me in the movie was it added a context that I hadn't been seeing a great deal of in some of the online conversations around the theme of Africans sold us. And all these videos are being shared that were demonizing the Dahomey warriors, demonizing the king. And as I was doing more reading and doing my research, and then even you know, I was in Ghana for the first time last month, and even talking to folks who were like, yeah, I remember my family member, or, you know, my great uncle was sold. You know, it's not as simple as Africans sold us, but what the movie showcased was it was a dynamic of sell or be sold. And when you look at,
I didn't like that part of her argument where it's kind of like justifying that, you know, these people did what they did because they were in a position where that's what it's like, sell or be sold. I don't think that were the only two options that these people had, you know. I think that is kind of like giving them a scapegoat, you know. The thing is about Black people, especially, like, you know, they want to feel like they're the victims or they're the good guys in all the situations. And it's like, that's just not the case. So please stop it. Like, you know, Black people were the good guys and the bad guys in almost every freaking historical event. Okay. So that's just something that you got to freaking accept. So It's okay. It's okay. It's okay if you look at humans, if you look at people and just see them as what they are. You can't just be like a certain group is just the bad guy and a certain group is just the good guy. Because if you do that, then you are not facing reality.
No, agreed.
At the history of how Dahomey came to be a kingdom, the groups came together because they was getting attacked and sold. They got together, formed a kingdom, and they attacked and sold other people. And it's a cycle. Someone brought up in another conversation, brought up Queen Nzinga, saying she's the example. She liberated people. She liberated her people from getting enslaved, but also enslaved other groups. It was a cycle of wars. And the story, the movie focuses on the war with the Oyo Empire, because the Oyo Empire was attacking Dahomey and enslaving them. And they had to get paid tribute. And so like that kind of context is really important, because we simplified and say Africans sold us. And we dive right into the European colonists, saying, well, they sold y'all. That's what happened to Don Lemon the other day when he said the Queen should pay reparations. And this British woman was like, nah, Africa should. And she just, and he didn't know how to respond. But I felt the movie gave that complexity. The other thing that I took away from, I actually, I heard, I guess, some of the thoughts on gender. The perspective that I took, what I saw was of collaboration and partnership. And they talk, and I need to get the name of the deity that they mentioned. It was the twin god deity of male and female. And they said side by side. Side by side.
Mawu Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Mawu Lisa.
Mawu Lisa. Okay, yes. And so and in my study of African spirituality, that's also been a theme, right? Side by side, collaboration, partnership. When you look at the movie, you see that. And it's Black man, Black woman. They fought together. They died together. They made decisions together. The term, the woman king, there's actually a Dahomean term for it because it's a philosophy, side by side. If you have a king, you need to have a female counterpart to make decisions together with. The actual term is called Kapodagito. I'm gonna put it in the chat, but Kapodagito. And I actually know the current Kapodagito or one of them in Dahomey, Mambo Dawati Desir from out of New York. And so I think that's like a really important theme. I think sometimes we are so used to the European Victorian gender values. And what is that, right? Man is head, woman submissive, woman quiet, man lead, man go out. That is, if you look up the European gender values, the Victorian in particular, we have internalized a lot of that.
What do y'all think? I think she made a really good point right there.
Mm-hmm. No, I think she's on fire. She's really kind of laying it out. I know one of the things I was thinking, because I think boy mentioned the whole thing about the reparations and I think there's a whole nother reason why we should not worry about reparations, but reparations is probably off the table. It's just one of those things. There's another distraction to keep people, thinking that they're gonna get something, and keep you from actually building some things that you should be building on your own, regardless of whether you get money from. Because that's what I think. Some people think that at some point you're just gonna magically come up with something, and you're gonna everything's just gonna come together and just be okay. But I mean, 2030 is coming, and if you're not set for that, you might be in some big trouble. But
man, they're putting in a lot of shit, implementing a lot of shit, and it's all coming down the pipe. Yep.
yeah,
So whether you
mean,
make moves or not, you still gonna deal with that situation. Whether they give you reparations or not, you still finna deal with it.
Well, yeah, it don't matter. I mean, they trying to make the population small enough to where they can handle you niggas and round y'all up and do whatever. But those of us that are not focused on you know, having some space, some land where you can, you know, privatize yourself, and something that they can't take control over, because if they can still make you pay taxes on it, then you still you still under their control.
They got you by the nuts.
Yeah. So
We have. When you look at African spirituality, when you look at some of the African traditions, you see a lot of balance. You see a lot of partnership, collaboration.
Let me say this right here. Let me say this right here, because I looked that up when I was in the movie, when I watched the movie, because it's Mawu Lisa. That's a brother. It's a mythology. A brother and a sister. Mawu being the sister, Lisa being the brother, moon and sun. But the creator is Nana Baluku, which is a female. So she's the creator, who the children are Mawu and Lisa. And you mentioned that, and I was like, oh yeah, I did write that down, because I think what's her name, Rita, was mentioning about different African spirituality.
Man, I was itching to jump in there like a motherfucker, bro. I wasn't on mute either, so I could have just jumped in there.
So the Homa
what would
tribe,
you have said?
A lot of stuff. The thing about the yin and the yang, the balance. African spirituality, and I jumped in a little bit later.
I hate that terminology. I hate the whole. I like African spirituality is like. Is that a thing?
Well,
I mean, is it more spirituality in Africa than it is here in America?
No, it's not. We use these terms. We're so limited. We talked about it a lot in the show, you know, how limited we are with our language. But it's kind of like an academic term, just to help you understand, like, the point is